This is a video for how to go about creating a working drawing for number 14 from your 20 ISOs project. We're going to go up to Design, we're going to go to Drawing and go to From Design, use our PLTW title block that we made in a previous video, and we'll go ahead and say OK. We will change our scale at 1:3. We will place our front view and we will say OK. We will then go up to Projected View, click on your front view, your top view, your side view, and your isometric view. You can right click and say OK. Double click on your isometric view and make it shaded, and then say close. We need to place some center marks and some center lines. We'll make our center marks first by clicking the outside edges of our arcs, and we will go ahead and click on the outside edges of our holes as well. You'll notice that we don't have really any arcs or edges in those holes. To place center lines, we'll come up to our center line bisector tool, and we're going to say in between our center lines over here, excuse me, our hidden lines over here and our hidden lines here as well. Now notice the thing about center lines is that tells us, remember, that if we were just zooming in on this, we would not know that this was a cylinder or that this was a hole if we did not see the center line down through the center of here. So we're going to go ahead and place our radius dimensions first. So we're going to go in and we're going to go to dimension, and we're going to click on the outside radius, and that is a radius of 2. Now I don't see anything else that's going to have a radius dimension. Remember, we have a full cylinder over here. You can see that in the ISO, and we have a hole in the middle. I don't really see anything else that's going to have a radius dimension of 2. We will have these arcs that'll have a radius dimension of 1 we can place, but we're going to go ahead and put a ×2 after this, and we'll pretty much be done with our radius dimensions from there. So I'm going to double click on this, I'm going to hit the space bar, and I'm going to say ×2. So space bar ×2, and I'm going to hit enter, and we have a radius of 1 ×2. That means on each side we can kind of tell this is basically a symmetrical kind of hockey rink shape here in the middle. We'll grab a hold of dimension again. Our cylinder here is going to be a diameter of 4, and the hole in the middle will be a diameter of 2. We're going to go ahead and place both those. Now I could have placed this down here and try to keep it between the views, but we're going to put some location dimensions on our top view. I'm going to choose to put a lot of location dimensions on the top because, you know, the front view is the most descriptive view, and this kind of shows the full height of the object. It shows the full width of the object, but really the features of the object are really located very well in our top view. So I'm going to try to make sure that I dimension to those features in the top view. So I'm going to grab a hold of dimension, and I'm going to say from this point to this point is going to be 4, and we're going to say from this point to this point here is going to come down. If we drag down, did I click on the point? I guess I didn't. Oops. Need to say undo. Made a mistake. So let's hit undo. Let's get rid of that. Let's go back up to dimension. Probably would help if I zoomed in a little bit. It's always easy to get in a hurry, especially when you're shooting a video, you're just trying to get something done. And we're going to drag straight down, and that will be 8. So again, the full width of the object, there's no need to put in a full width dimension because we can tell that 2 plus 8 is 10, and if the diameter of this outside is 4, the radius is going to be 2, and the full width will wind up being 12. And we already have ourselves our full depth dimension with the radius of 2. That'll wind up being 4, so we can go ahead and place our height dimensions in the front view. So we're going to grab a hold of dimension, and I'm going to do this ledge first because you have a judgment call to make. Do you put the full height in the side view, or do you go ahead and just say from here to here and drag between the views? Now you can keep it that way if you wish. We've talked in other videos about the logic behind, say, putting the 6 over here. Now we don't want to actually place it twice. We don't want to be redundant, but at the same time, is it cleaner if I put the 6 in my side view and get rid of this? It's all about what you choose to communicate and what you think is the best method of communication. Now for me personally, I like this because I feel like the full contour of the front shape is totally uninterrupted to the viewer. Remember, it's about who is looking at the drawing in order to make this part. So if you handed off this part or this drawing to another person, could they go in and actually make this part easily without any confusion, without any redundancy, without dimensioning to hidden lines? Would they be able to go in and completely make this part with no confusion? That is the #1 aspect of dimensioning, is that all of your numerical values are correct to the correct significant digits, and that they can communicate and actually see the part in order to be manufactured. So let's hit save. We're going to go ahead and say save. And you'll notice again in our side view over here, if you've been following other videos in our project browser, we can see that all of our drawings are just right next to the parts that they are referencing. So a nice little clean user interface, real easy to make a drawing. And this has been a video for how to go about creating a full working drawing in Fusion 360 of number 14 for your 20 ISOs project.